Hey, what's up, YouTube? So this is going to be another one of my fragrance impressions. Again, this is a new fragrance that I just got, I think, like last week. Ordered it through the mail because I got another bottle of Paco Rabanne, the green one. So this one here, I actually really enjoy this. It's quite masculine fragrance. I really enjoy that one. It's a fougere with a kind of spicy lavender, and a little bit of spices and a little bit of musk and really nice notes. I like that. But the one I got, so when I got that, it was like 30 something bucks. I got on eBay off um, one of those legitimate perfume sites. So there's a bunch on there, but I went to the legitimate ones. And I think it was the cheapest ones, but this is the one I got, Davidoff Cool Water. I just wanted to kind of try this out because I've been reading about it. I've basically gotten most of the fragrances that I've ever kind of read about or something I wanted, but I just figured I'd try this out because it was like 21 bucks, I think. I just figured I'd try it out. So Eau de Toilette is 4.2 ounce. So first thing I'm going to do actually is use some of this. This is Vitalis. This is actually my favorite hair. It's not really grease. It's like an alcohol or something. I think it's got like 7 ingredients or something like that. This stuff came out in I think the 40s, and it's actually great, especially with short hair because it gives a choppy appearance. It's not really greasy or oily, but there's a little bit of tackiness, and I just really like it because of that. It's pretty just light, kind of makes your hair look good and stuff, not frizzy. Puts a little bit of chunkiness together. Not really any shine, but it's got. I think that's the greatest about this. It's a really light, basic citrus scent. It's really light, so it's not perfuming all around you and stuff, which can kind of irritate me with some other hair products. So it's really light, citrusy. Then if you wear like a fragrance or something, or a deodorant or whatever, or nothing at all, I mean, it doesn't really bother you because it just kind of fades away and it's really light. So I like that. Get that at Walmart. But let's do my impression of Davidoff Cool Water. I actually quite like the color of the bottle, the blueness. Um, it's almost like a little bit. It's kind of like aqua blue. I mean, it looks pretty blue, but if I put it against a white table, it looks really blue, and if I put it in the sun, it looks pretty blue too. But maybe I'm just looking at the lawn. That's a little greenish. But if I look at the sky, it's like a kind of like a sky blue. Actually, it's pretty nice. But let's go with this. Came out in 1988. When I spray it out of the sprayer, it smells just generic, like every other generic, basic, linear fragrance I don't know if you can still get them on the fragrance counters or not, but any of the basic fragrances they used to have them like in the early 2000s a lot. Like most of the fragrances you find, it's just like a citrusy kind of, lightly kind of woody, citrusy, like kind of like the type of smell you'd smell like walking into a store. They just have this, like into a shopping mall or something. You go into like a clothing store or any store like JC Penney's or something, and they just have this smell of like, I don't know, clean clothes or something. And that's kind of it, or maybe like carpet cleaner or something. It's almost a citrusy basic, not even really citrusy, just a that type of basic smell. That's what I get out of this cap when I smell this. So it's really nothing exciting, but so this fragrance spray it on. This fragrance isn't by any means a favorite fragrance of mine. I've worn it a few times, but what basically stands out with this fragrance is like if I could put it into a single word, what this smells like, I'd say like bubblegum. Um, it's got like this, like just regular pink, regular used bubblegum or something. Sort of smell. That's what I get. It's like a kind of sweetness. It's not really strong. It's not a strong fragrance. It's kind of got this sweetness to it, and it's like it just smells like pink bubblegum to me, which is quite a bit different compared to what I've read or seen videos on people that give an impression of this fragrance. They say it smells fresh and clean, or like a laundry detergent, or I guess you could probably say laundry detergent, but I get a bit of sweetness, like pink bubblegum out of this. Um, so it's definitely a basic generic scent, but it's all right if that's what you're looking for. It's probably pretty good. Um, I don't really get any citrus out of this. Like I was saying, a lot of the newer, or the 2000s and the 2000s when I've tried out generic citrus fragrance and stuff like that. When you're a lot younger, you're probably more into that. You just want something to smell good, and you've never really bought fragrances before, so you just kind of pick what's on the shelf. And most of the times, they were basic generic fragrances, at least back then. Um, but this one, I don't get any citrus. Um, like I said, I get more of a pink bubblegum thing. So it's kind of interesting. I guess I could see why people, reviewers or something, say like women like this scent, and I guess I can see why, because it just kind of smells like pink bubblegum. I mean, if I remember back in the 80s, probably probably the mid 80s, I guess, when me and my friends were all in middle school and stuff, we were like kids, and I remember we used to go roller skating. That used to be a big thing. Go to the roller skating place, and everybody would go there and roller skate around and stuff. That was like the big thing, like after school or on the weekends. And I remember I went there with one of my friends one time, and I don't think I've ever tried a fragrance at all at that point, but he brought a fragrance, Ralph Lauren's Polo Green, and I guess that was popular back then with like high school kids or something, at least for us because we were in school. But and he brought it out, and he's like, "Oh, put some of this on because the girls like it." So I was like, "Okay." So he put some on, I put some on, and man, this stuff was like so spicy and strong. I kind of hated it. It's like piney and rough and stuff. So I kind of hated it until like, 2.5 or 3 hours later, it started kind of smelling good because all that spiciness toned down. There was a little bit of, I don't know, juniper berry in there or something like that, which it actually started to smell good. What I'm saying is I kind of wish he had this one back then, because then I could say, yeah, it's pretty, interesting fragrance, and it's not complex, it's not rough or nothing like that. It's kind of a pink bubblegumish, kind of like a watered down pink bubblegum, but again, you can maybe tell there's a little bit of floral. I guess I've read that lavender's in there, and I've read the notes on his website, and it says lavender, but I can't pick out any particular notes. I know for one thing, like even with Pour de Caron, that's a lavender and vanilla, and sometimes it seems like lavender when it's combined with certain things, or lavender and citrus, it gives a different, strange kind of smell. Lavender and vanilla smells a little bit like marshmallows to me. Um, I've actually mixed a little bit of, I think I sprayed that and then added it with vetiver guerlain. That gives a weird kind of, almost kind of sexy sort of sweetness smell. It's kind of odd, but so I think lavender kind of is pretty mixable when it goes into different things. But anyways, that's my impression. I'd say this is like a younger person scent. It's just a casual scent. It's kind of sweet. It's kind of basic. It doesn't really change or nothing. It smells like pink bubblegum, toned down sort of sweetness smell. And I'd say later on, it kind of gets a little bit drier, and a little bit of almost like a little bit of dry woodiness comes in, but just a little bit. It's really slight. I think it's pretty blended fragrance, and nothing that really I pick out in particular as a note. I just say it's kind of like a pink bubblegum, like a light pink bubblegum, sort of watered down smell with there's maybe a little bit of touch. There's barely a touch of maybe a little bit of like a woody dryness. That's what I smell on me if I smell my wrist or something. If I spray this and walk out of the room and come back 10 minutes later, I smell kind of like a clean air freshener smell or something like that. It doesn't really smell particularly sweet. It smells like almost a little bit crisp, but just basically like an air freshener. Almost a non-scented, just a clean air freshener smell. But that's my impressions. That's all I could say about it. Where to wear this just casually. like I said, it's kind of a useful scent. It's nothing immature like a vetiver or something. Like if you're wearing something to the workplace, it has a little bit of sweetness. So I'd say it's just casual, out and about, whatever type of scent. Probably wear it just about anywhere, because I don't think anybody would um, be offended by it or anything. Like I said, it smells a little bit youthful, because I wear a lot of scents like vetivers or paco or azzaros. But this one ain't bad for what it is. It's not bad. It's kind of, for me, it's kind of just right in the middle there. And plus, it's, generic, so nothing it's just pick it up when you want to have to wear something. So let's read what Davidoff says on his website, just for the notes, because I like to go to the websites, they give the notes. It says, discover the original marine fragrance for men, inspired by the freshness of the ocean. So for notes, it gives the top note is peppermint and lavender. So that's the blend, peppermint and lavender. So I can see that because, I don't pick out mint particularly, but peppermint is kind of a sweet smelling mint. Like if you smell mints at the garden store or something, there's chocolate mint, which I have grown in the garden. It doesn't smell like peppermint, but think peppermint candy canes, think peppermint flavored mouthwash, or what is it, aquafalva, that aftershave, that has a lot of peppermint in it, actually. Kind of a sweet smelling mint. So I can get, that's probably where the sweetness comes in. So they say peppermint and lavender for the top. The mid is oakmoss, geranium, and sandalwood. And the base is amber and musk facets. So, like I said, on the top, peppermint and lavender. It's kind of like, it smells like pink bubblegum. Sort of like a pink, sort of like a watered down pink bubblegum. The heart is oakmoss, geranium, and sandalwood. So, there is a little bit of this dry, just a really slight dryness, roughness, kind of woodiness in there. Just really dry, really kind of slight though. Well, it comes in a little bit more, kind of. That's what it kind of dries down to for me. In the base, it says amber and musk facets. You could probably say amber, but it's so very light. It's not a really strong amber. It just kind of turns down to a skin scent. It can just fade and goes down over the period of 4 hours or something like that. It's not a particularly strong fragrance, but it kind of still remains on you. Um, they say musk facets. It's not a musky fragrance for me. Maybe just a little bit of oiliness, or just keeping this around, I guess. As a skin scent is maybe the musk, but it's not animalistic or anything at all. So that's kind of it. That's my impression. Nothing at all spectacular, but for a generic type of fragrance, yeah, it's kind of like a lot of other similar fragrances. No apples, no citrus, none of that. So, but it's still that generic type of vibe. So, anyways, if that's what you're into, then you might kind of be into this. So there you go, Davidoff Cool Water.